If I can have your attention, everybody got quiet, so I guess that was your way to tell me, let's get started, Smith. And so here we go, we're getting started. Ms. Whitby, if you call the roll.
Yes, sir. Ross?
Here.
White?
Here.
Taylor?
Here.
Robinson?
Here.
Baxter?
Here.
Harris?
Here.
Ginn?
Here.
And Height?
Present.
The quorum is present, sir.
Thank you very much. I invite you to rise for the pledge being led by Councilmember Ross.
Let's pray. Our Heavenly Father, thank you for all that you've given us and you do for us daily. Please be with this council to make the best decisions tonight and every day for the city and all of our residents. Please be with each and every one here. Bless each and everyone here and throughout the city. We thank you for all that you do. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Second.
On the motion.
On the motion to approve the minutes of the previous meeting and the special call, Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Ginn?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
Thank you very much, Ms. Whitby. I'm going to bounce around a little bit tonight with your indulgence, and we do have a long agenda, so I'm going to try to accommodate a few things. But in our presentation part, as we have been for 19 years, we've been having probably one of the best and most successful student exchange programs ever, and we're certainly proud of it. And we're right now in the middle of the winter exchange. So, Margaret, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Okay. Good evening, Mayor, City Council. We've got a new face. Jane, I have not addressed you before and met you this afternoon, so it's a pleasure to get to address you tonight. Most everyone else has heard some of the presentations from our Sister City program. This is our 8th year for a winter program, and this is all about letting the students come for about a month and go to our schools. And they are in classes a little bit more advanced this year. We decided to try a little more advanced classes. We'll find out if that's good for them. But we have 2 programs. One is in the winter, one in the summer. And I won't mention too much about the summer one because we've got a lot going on right now. These students came here January the 11th and they leave February the 7th. So they won't be here much longer. It seems they've just gotten here and we've all gotten to love them, and now they're going to be leaving before long. And that's what happens in a good program is everybody gets really close, and then it's hard to part. And that's where we are right now. We're about 2/3 of the way through. I want to thank the City Council for continuing to support this program, and the students feel the same way. So you're going to hear from one of the students. You're going to meet an absolutely adorable chaperone who we've just been so excited and happy to have here. The first thing we always do, though, is we always have to give kudos to the host families, because without the host families, we would not be able to have this program. I'm going to quickly read the names of the host families and just ask you to stand. If you're here, Richard, Rosemary, Sarah, and Anna Custer, Dwayne, Sally Jo, and Katie Pryor, Chris, Melanie, Molly, and Shelton, Bruce, Gina, and Lindy Brown, Scarlett and Grant Smith, Brent and Sarah Means, and Preston Hickman, and Laurie Chung. And I don't know that Laurie is here tonight. I know that Laurie was able to come tonight. But these are the host families, and I'd like to just thank them with some applause. Okay, what we're going to do tonight is to put focus on the part where we really hear from a couple of the Koreans. I want to introduce to you Sang-hee Lee, or Lee Sang-hee. We know her as Alice, and she is here for the first time. She's new with the international department, and so she's just a little nervous. But not too nervous. But she has been absolutely precious. We also had another chaperone who came earlier. Her name is Uwang. Or no, excuse me, her name is... what?
Honey.
No. No, Unsuk, Unsuk lived here actually for about 1.5 years, many years ago, and she hadn't been back for a long time, so she will be coming back. And Mayor, I think we may have a delegation coming in from Uwang City, the mayor, and we'll probably have some dignitaries come from there this year, so we're working on that. I would like to turn the program over to you, let you kind of introduce yourself and tell us what you do with the city of Uwang, and I believe you have a letter you want to read to the mayor?
Yes.
All right, well, go ahead.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Good evening. I'm the chaperone of the Korean students. I'm the first time to United States of America, so I'm so little lovers. I'm very honored to hear. Thank you. My name is Sang-hee Lee, and my English name is Alice. Too big. Before reading this letter of our mayor's letter, I would like to introduce my student, one student, Rose. Her name is Rose. Come here, Rose.
Hello everyone, my name is Rose Lee, and my Korean name is Tagyong Lee, and I'm staying in Molly's house, the Shelton family. They're such a wonderful family, and I'm gonna tell you what we've learned and what I've learned through this program. So actually, this is my second visit to North Little Rock, and this is a really pleasure to be here again. And I think this program had let us develop ourselves in many ways. First, this program greatly helped us improve our language skills. As we dissolve in the lives in the USA, we naturally learned and practiced to write, speak, and converse with people. Second, this program broadened our sight on the world. Out of the country of Korea, we had experienced this new culture and learned something beyond studies. And lastly, I think this program had filled our hearts. In North Little Rock, we met our loving host families, friends, and teachers. Although we live in different countries and speak different language, we have something in common that we're happy to meet each other. I'm sure we have learned something more and more, and we really appreciate to this program to help us learn all of these. Thank you.
Thank you, Rose. And I'm going to read this letter on behalf of the city of Uiwang and its mayor, Kim Sang-don. Dear Mayor Joel Smith, greetings. Year 2019 has dawned. Since the two cities concluded the sister city agreement in 2000, we are now carrying out the 8th winter vacation language exchange program between two cities. I'd like to extend my sincere gratitude for your unconditional support for successful promotion of the event. I'm sure that this program will not only promote the friendship between the two cities to a greater degree, but also encourage students to develop international mindset through various cultural experiences so that they can become global leaders. Last summer, we also invited teenagers of your city to Uiwang for the 18th homestay exchange, which has been ended in a success. Through this program, teenagers from both cities could enjoy a valuable time to deepen friendship and experience each other's culture. As teenagers of Uiwang are planning to visit North Little Rock this summer once again, we would like to ask for your interest and cooperation for this matter to ensure that our 19th summer homestay program will also be held successfully. Also, I'm truly grateful to everyone who helps both winter and summer programs to be carried out successfully. Among those, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to Mayor Joel Smith of North Little Rock and Margaret Powell, who is in charge of this program, and Superintendent of North Little Rock School District, Bobby Eklund, and all the people who helped to maintain exchanges between two cities for 19 years. And also the homestay host families who treated Uiwang City's teenagers like their own family. A delegation of Uiwang City, including myself, are planning to visit your city in March. I expect that this visit would serve as an opportunity for both cities to grow further together. Promising that I will strive to support and endorse this program for the future. I wish unfailing prosperity and peace of your city. Sincerely yours, Mayor of Uiwang City, Republic of Korea, Kim Sang-dun. Thank you.
Alice, very much. Rose, you did a wonderful job. I love your English. It is almost perfect. I want to say, of course, thank you to all our host families. You're the ones that make this thing work. So thank you all for your participation. Margaret, we ready for a photograph?
Yes, if we could go ahead and get a quick photograph with the mayor. And one other thing I'll tell you that we do with the winter program is we try to make sure these young people from our sister city get around to elementary schools and get around in the high school. We try to introduce them and their culture to as many people as we can. So we try to make it educational for our students as well as for theirs. Okay, yeah, all of you come and gather around Mayor Smith, and we'll get some of the council members in the background, and then we'll ask our North Little Rock students to join. We're going to get a picture with just the Korean students, and then we'll ask you all to come join. Okay.
I forgot my lipstick.
We try for this winter program to get host families that have students in the high school to make it easy to transport the kids and to promote interaction. Oh, somebody missing? Who is? Anna. We're outside, like, Anna. There you are. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you, thank you.
I'm sorry, there's not a lot of parade people here. Oh,
Okay, while they're working their way out, why don't we go to communications? I'm showing two. Anybody want to pull those? We okay with that? How about a motion to accept and file?
Move to accept and file 1 and 2.
Second?
On the motion?
Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's go into, we're going to go the Christmas parade presentations. Sherry, are you doing that? Charlie, are you doing that?
Yeah, and you're
Okay.
doing that.
And I'm doing that. Okay, well, we're going to go down to the front then.
We're ready? We're ready. All right. Well, it's my pleasure to announce the 2018 Sertoma Christmas Parade, North Little Rock Christmas Parade Awards, and we'll start at the top tonight with the Mayor's Cup, and hope I pronounce this correctly, Reflejos Mexicanos, number 20. Is that, did I get that right? Did I even get close? Close, but I guess they're not here. We'll make sure they get it. All right, next award is the Chairman's Choice, and that goes to Arkansas Travels, number 44. Number 44, that's their entry number. All right. Congratulations. All right, our next award winner is for the Best Girl Scout Float, and that goes to Girl Scouts number 6566/6096. Is that correct? Girl Scouts. Girl Scouts, all right. Okay, thank you. All right, our next category, our next winner is for the Best Beauty Entry, and that goes to our Arkansas State Fair Queen. This says first girl in a red hat, but is she here tonight? Is our Fair Queen here? Not here. We'll make sure she gets it. All right. Next award winner goes to the Best Club Entry, and that would be for the Scimitar Shrine Bedouins. They're not here either. All right. Our next award goes to the Best Boy Scout Award, and that's for Cub Scout Pack number 87. Cub Scout Pack number. Not here either. Okay. Our next award goes to the Best Decorated Commercial or Business Entry, and that's for the J Hook Towing Company. There he is. There he is. Congratulations. We're not taking videos. No videos. All right, congratulations. Okay, our next award is for the Best Nonprofit, and that goes to Mount Pleasant Baptist Church. Mount Pleasant Baptist Church, all right. Our next award goes to the Best Dance performing entry, and that would be for Studio 501. Studio 501, are y'all here tonight? I guess they're not. I don't know. Best fire truck entry is our next award winner, and that goes to North Little Rock Fire Department. Congratulations. All right, our next award is for the best marching group, and that'll be the North Little Rock High School Marching Band. Anybody here from North Little Rock High School? They're not here either. Okay, we'll make sure they get it. And then our last award and next award or last, Sertoma President Award goes to the North Little Rock Dance Stars. North Little Rock Dance, all right. All right.
Like Laurel and Hardy.
You got it? I'll take off. Do you one better.
Well, for the mayor and for Sertoma Club, thanks to everybody that entered the parade, and congratulations to all the winners. And we look forward to the 2019 Christmas parade.
Two down.
Sorry about that, Mayor.
What'd you do?
I just backed into it, and it went kablooey.
Okay, congratulations to all those that participated and certainly from the Sertoma Club for helping. Okay, public comment sign-in sheet. Janice Starkey. Janice, you want to speak on your R-1931?
Or she can wait till the public hearing. There's a public hearing.
You want to do it on a public hearing? Okay, just wait, we'll do it at a public hearing. The other two are on 1905, and we are not, I'm going to hold that tonight. If you guys still want to talk. Robert, you want to talk?
Oh, wrong Robert.
Wrong, Robert.
Oh, wrong,
That
Robert?
Robert.
Yeah.
That Robert.
That Robert.
I'm Robert Fury, Ward 4, 7205 Pontiac Drive. And concerning R-1905, financing of airport improvements, North Rock Airport. And as I've mentioned before, a few weeks ago, I'm a retired civil engineer, 35, 40 years, and most of it in private practice, as a designer of major airport improvements. And including North Rock Airport back in the 70s, 80s. Y'all have, the city, or the airport, has, under a 5-year contract with a local airport engineering firm, that contract makes that engineer, that airport planning and design engineer, available to assist the city with planning and cost estimating. It seems to me, or I have limited information, but to this point, the planning and cost estimating for these airport improvements that are going to be under this proposed bond issue, the planning and cost estimating was not done by an engineer, wasn't done by an Arkansas firm, It was done by an Oklahoma firm, an architectural firm, a small one at that specializes in small healthcare facilities. Anytime you propose construction on or near an airport and of a height that penetrates a 100-to-1 slope, that slope originating at the nearest point, nearest runway, you're required to notify the FAA Airports Division in this area, Southwest Region, in Fort Worth. That's a notice of proposed construction or alteration on airport. And I understand that all the improvements that you propose do penetrate that 100-to-1 slope. It would be prudent for whoever the professional is that is assisting the city in looking at these proposed projects, do what the FAA requires you to do, to coordinate with them. There's an FAA form, it's pretty simple, FAA Form 7460-1. Don't waste your money planning a project that has not been coordinated with the FAA Southwest Region Airports Division. Also, some of the proposed work in this project is possibly, if not probably, eligible for funding assistance from the Arkansas Department of Aeronautics. You might not need the amount of money you think you need. You can get a significant discount on your improvements by just coordinating with the state aeronautics. I'm glad you pulled it again. I hope you keep pulling it until it's more clear what is going on. There's been a lot of, I'll repeat the word, shenanigans over the years with odd bedfellows connected to the city. And again, I will invite anybody to call me, 501-240-7800. Be happy to go into detail about shenanigans over the years. And I will name names of individuals and of designers. Thank you.
Okay, Nick, Frankie.
Mayor, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here again, our 1905, $4 million. $4 million. They want the taxpayers of North Little Rock to donate to the airport out here, to North Little Rock Airport. And the first thing I want to say about this is it's for certain improvements. There's nothing more firm than that, than certain improvements. There's no other airport in the state of Arkansas that takes welfare from a municipality. They all operate on taxes generated by that airport, fuel taxes, property taxes, and real and personal property taxes generated by the airport, as well as sales taxes. And they operate on federal grant assurances and state grant assurances that Mr. Fury just mentioned. I'm not talking about any small airport, big airport, Adams Field or Hillary and Bill, the Clinton Airport. They don't take city funds from Little Rock. Conway, brand new airport up there, not a dime from this city, not a dime from their patrons. When I go buy a loaf of bread at Kroger, I don't expect to be paying for corporate hangars with my loaf of bread. I expect to be paying for city improvements, not airport improvements. And to go right along with that, again, in the 2019 budget, line item 09000-46550, $100,000 to the North Little Rock Airport. Why am I supporting the North Little Rock Airport every time I buy a loaf of bread? Are there no more homeless in North Little Rock? Are there no after-school programs that we could be spending this hundreds of thousands of dollars on? To me, it's welfare, corporate welfare. It's state-sponsored housing for corporate jets. Why am I paying to house a corporate jet when we have homeless folks 3 blocks away? That's all I want to know. And again, if we're open and honest with each other, the airport on their budget, 09-002-54255, this $100,000, along with the $100,000 last year and the year before, is used for capital outlay equipment. What equipment? Are they buying new tractors out there? They tearing up their old tractors? What are we buying? Why are we buying that is what I want to know, when there's plenty of other avenues that they could buy it. And if the people at the airport want it, they need to raise the taxes, raise the fuel price, do whatever they need to do to get their money together and build their own place. I don't think it's the business of the city of North Little Rock to build corporate welfare hangars. To me, it's ridiculous to sponsor, for us to pay for corporate jets to live in a hangar when we got homeless folks out here. And again, I don't hope this ever comes up again. I hope it goes away after this.
Okay. All right, I'm going to pull a few out of order because we've got some different kind of circumstances. First one I'm going to pull with Linda's approval is 01912.
An ordinance reclassifying property located at 7101 and 7205 Highway 70 from C3 to I3 by amending ordinance 7697, adopting an amended land use plan for the subject property, first reading.
Move to suspend all readings.
Second.
On the motion to suspend all readings?
Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
Got a motion to adopt.
So move.
Second.
On the motion?
On the motion to adopt, Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
And on the emergency, Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
Okay, Sammy, go home and get off your knee, buddy.
I appreciate that, Mayor, council members. I would recommend knee replacement surgery to anybody.
Thank you very much.
Very much, I appreciate it.
Okay, let's go ahead also and pull R1919. No objection.
R1919, okay.
I'm going to read it and hold it, but I want to explain it while Mr. Moses and Fletcher are here.
A resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into an exclusive listing agreement with Newmark Moses Tucker Partners to sell approximately 5 acres of public land in the city of North Little Rock's downtown area.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm going to hold that. Amy and I sat down this afternoon and went over the contract with a fine-tooth comb and found several reasons that we need to tweak it. And so we're going to hold it in these next 2 weeks. We'll sit down with the realtors and fix the errors as we see them. But let me tell you what's on my mind the whole time. You know, I mean, we've been working and concentrating on the 500 and 600 block of Main Street. And if you drove down there today, you saw that First Orion building still started going up. You know, that's been a long time coming, and I'm so excited to see it happening. At the next council meeting, we're going to show you a bunch of pictures of, because I know it's hard to see behind the screen, of the progress that we're making on the plaza. And then I believe on February the 19th, we're having a groundbreaking, is that right, Bob? A groundbreaking on the 3-story 600 main building. So those 2 blocks are starting to blossom, if you will. And so we started looking around at what else can we do to continue the synergy in our downtown. And the property that we have down there around City Services Building was the perfect location. As y'all remember back when we were working on the Arts Center, that was the location that we tried to put that complex. And it's got a great view. It's on the trolley track. It's right next to the arena, beautiful view of the river and the downtown skyline. So I said, you know, in order to try to reach out as many developers as that we possibly could, Joe Smith, the salesman, couldn't do it. Didn't have time and didn't have the contacts. So I talked to Fletcher Hansen and Jimmy Moses, and Jimmy, of course, is the #1 downtown realtor in Arkansas, and he understands downtown development. And so we met numerous times trying to figure out exactly which way we wanted to head. And this is the way that we decided that we wanted to head, and we wanted to bring it to you guys. You know, our goal is to allow him and his marketing company and his marketing expertise and his contacts in that business to work that property for us. All we were doing in this legislation is approving our contract with the realtor, not any future projects. Anything that we do has to come back. So if they're able to bring in a developer with a, you know, I don't want to sell it unless it's just the perfect development. So they'll come back to us if they have a proposal, present it to us, and then we'll have an opportunity at that time to turn our thumbs up or thumbs down on it. So with that said, they're here to answer any questions. I wouldn't ask any questions about the contract because it's probably one of the tweets that we're going to make. But if you have any questions on their marketability and what they think they're going to do, they're here to answer any questions. Ms. Ross.
This isn't for them, but I guess the biggest question is, you know, we've got, where would the employees in city service, where would the departments in city service go? Where would legal go? Where will the chamber have parking? Just, you know, so we would get $3.5 million for this. We know we can't build anything, you know, under $4 million, so.
I'm actually not that concerned about it. We're shrinking the numbers over there as we speak. Once we get prepaid electricity in there, those numbers of UAD are going to go down. Our goal is to move IT into the new police department. We have, once we move police training out of their building over on Willa, it'll free up that building. The DO, the detective's office, is very large and could accommodate 2 departments over there. And, you know, if we had to go rent a building for somebody, we certainly could. You know, my idea is if we've got a $55 million project, somebody wants to come in here and make that someplace special, or do I want to have a 60-year-old wore-out building there? Then yeah, I'm going to take the new project. I mean, look at all the jobs that would create, and that's what we do is we try to create jobs. As far as you know, we've talked numerous times that if we bring in the project that we want, we're going to have to build a parking garage. And I've talked to John. John understands what we're trying to do, and he knows that I will never block them from having a place to park. So I think it'll all work out, and by the time we put a project like this together, we'd have plenty of time to make sufficient areas for our employees to go. Ms. Robinson.
First of all, it doesn't make sense to me to sell a building and then go off and rent. This location is convenient, and it's convenient for the citizens of North Little Rock. When we moved the light company and everything, it was advertised as a one-shop location. And it's changing. I guess that's what happened after 20 years. New folks come in with new ideas, and it's called progressive. But here is my thing. Public transportation travels down Main Street, North Little Rock, and Maple Street. Even buses coming from McCain and Park Hill travels to downtown. And if this location is moved, then it's no longer convenient for the citizens. Not everyone has a car in North Little Rock, and a lot of people use public transportation. Not only the folks in Ward 2, but people in other areas use public transportation. I think that this location is convenient. Matter of fact, I know it's convenient, and that we should maintain it. I'm not for selling a building and going off renting a building. To me, that doesn't make sense. So I ask that we think about this long and hard, as to if this is what we really want to do. Talking about a 60-year-old building, how old is this one? You know, just because it's 60 doesn't mean it's not, can be fixed or worked on. We just paid over $100,000 to remodel a place for the city attorney. I tell my constituents time and time, we don't have the money. We can't do that. We don't have the money. But when we spend $100,000 to modify or renovate a building, and now we gonna sell that and get rid of it too? So I go back and tell them, well, yeah, we did. You know, it's hard to explain to the public, especially when they sitting back looking and they think that we've got all of this money and we don't have it. So being progressive is fine. But as elected officials, and I know we represent our various wards, but we represent all the city, the mayor does too. But ultimately, we're the ones that have to make that decision, and I ask that we think about it.
Okay, thank you for your input. Anybody else got anything? Ms. Ginn?
I thought about this also long and hard. What is convenient? This place is convenient, but times are changing. And the amount of money that we put in to buy this building is great, and I agree with you. Renting a place is not necessarily the best thing, but that's only a part of it. If we can find a place, this proposal doesn't cost us a dime, okay? What he's asking for is for them to give us a proposal, and it's free. And the design for the development is free. And so I'm thinking, what harm would it be if we just got somebody to come in there and give us some ideas? What if, I don't know the man, I'm not trying to say anything, but what if we could take Galaxy Furniture for a whole lot less money, and we made money for the city of North Little Rock in this deal? I'm not suggesting Galaxy Furniture, but I'm just saying that's pretty convenient too. And if we made money, that would be a very good proposal. So I'm just saying that while it doesn't cost us anything, it's just $0 to find out what Moses Tucker, is that the people's names? Moses Tucker is going to give us a development proposal, and IT may go to the police department. There's other solutions to this. So let's find out all the facts, get them together, and then see if this is a great idea or not, you know.
Thank you, Ms. Ginn.
You're welcome.
Okay, I'm going to hold that, and Amy and I will get together. Ms. Ross?
No, I just had one thing, and this is thrown out for future if this does go further or whatever. I know that you said we can move planning here. Planning does need to be close to the city clerk's office. I mean, how many times do you run back and forth? Sometimes when somebody goes to planning, then they have to come over here to get this and then go back. So to get their certificates and everything. So planning does need to be close.
Well,
And so-
that's an easy fix.
I know, but I'm just saying, that's long-term, that we've got to think about that too.
Yeah, but that's
So-
an easy fix.
Okay.
I mean, we've already talked about, you know, we can either put somebody in planning in Diane's office or somebody in Diane's office in planning. I mean, they don't have to walk back and forth.
Okay.
We can fix that.
We should do that already then.
Well, we've talked about doing that. We just
Why aren't
haven't.
we already doing it?
We hadn't pulled the trigger on it yet. So that's an easy fix. You know, I understand how this works. I understand the relationship that each department has with each department. So we're not going to separate, you know, these people from each other. You know, I mean, we'll probably combine purchasing with finance, you know, and, you know, code probably should be closer to, planning should be closer to code. So, you know, all those things. So we'll work that out. I just want to get the professionals out there to bring us an idea, you know, and so we can say no. But I would have a hard time saying no if the project came in and it was that big of a project and it's going to bring us, you know, 200, 300 jobs. You know, I mean, it is. It's going to bring that number of jobs in here. So, you know, I would have to get on my soapbox for 200 or 300 jobs. So anyway, we'll hold that. Yes, sir.
You said we could ask the applicant a question if we had one?
Yeah, Jimmy, can you come up? Fletcher?
And I'll ask the question while he's coming up there. I'm just curious, do they have anything on their radar screen right now that looks like it might be interesting to us?
That's a good question.
I'm Jimmy Moses, and I'm with Newmark Moses Tucker Partners, and my partner Fletcher Hansen, who has worked tirelessly downtown, is here too. If I can't answer it, maybe he can. But specifically, we have some ideas about what could happen on your site. We think it's a terrific piece of real estate, and I think we understand the concerns that are being raised tonight about what happens to the people that could be displaced. But if you could look out maybe 3 to 5 years, just vision with me for just a minute, and imagine a significant, perhaps hotel with a retail base where 300, 400, 500 people every day and night are coming into downtown Argenta, using the facilities, spending dollars here, and generally adding to what already is a very exciting, dynamic downtown. That's what we're very much about. And I can't stand here tonight and tell you that that's exactly what's going to happen, but I can tell you that we've had a hand working in other cities, primarily in downtown Little Rock, but also in Fayetteville. We're working on a hotel right now in downtown El Dorado. And we think this is a premier piece of real estate. I think it's one of the best in the state. And I think with time and energy and effort put forth, which we intend to do, we will be able to put together a concept that I hope we can bring back to you in the not too distant future. It'll be your decision as to whether or not you want it to be pursued and developed. But I think the potential is absolutely there, and we'll be very much about trying to make that happen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Thank you, Mayor.
Okay. Let's go to the consent agenda. We've got quite a few on there. Anybody want to pull any of them?
Wait a minute.
Seeing none, all in favor of the consent agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. I do have one of our appointees, James Dietz, is not here tonight, but Jim Lewis, who's appointed to the Senior Citizens Commission, is here. Jim, if you'll come up, Clerk Whitby will give you your oath.
Hi, Jim Lewis.
Do solemnly swear or affirm
Do solemnly swear, solemnly affirm,
that I will support the Constitution
I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States,
and the Constitution and laws
the Constitution and the laws
of the State of Arkansas,
of the state of Arkansas.
that I will faithfully discharge the duties
I will faithfully discharge the duties
Senior Citizens Commission
Senior Citizen Commission
of the City of North Little
of the
Rock,
city of North Little Rock,
upon which I'm about to
which I am about to enter.
congratulations.
Thank you, Jim, for what you're about to enter. We do appreciate you serving on that commission. Okay. I am going to call a public hearing right now for these cleanup liens, and I will read off the addresses. 128.5 Davis, 910 North C, 1701 West Long 17th Street, 4904 Haywood Street, 2216 West 16th Street, 400 East 21st Street, and 413 Division Street. Is there anyone here to speak on any of those addresses? Seeing none, I'm going to close the public hearing, and we'll do one at a time. Ms. Whitby.
R1920, Mayor Smith.
Please call it.
A resolution certifying the amount of a cleanup lien to be filed with Pulaski County Tax Collector against certain real property located at 128.5 Davis Street in the city of North Little Rock.
Move for adoption.
On the motion.
Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
R1921, Mayor Smith.
Please call it.
A resolution certifying the amount of a cleanup lien to be filed with Pulaski County Tax Collector against property located at 910 North C Street in the city of North Little Rock.
Move for adoption.
Second.
On the motion.
Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor? Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
R-1922, Mayor Smith.
Please call it.
A resolution certifying the amount of a cleanup lien to be filed with Pulaski County Tax Collector against property located at 1701 West Long 17th Street, the city of North Little Rock.
Move for adoption.
Second.
On the motion.
Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
And Height.
Yes.
R-1923, Mayor Smith.
Please call it.
A resolution certifying the amount of a cleanup lien to be filed with Pulaski County Tax Collector against property located at 4904 Haywood Street in the city of North Little Rock.
Move for adoption.
Second.
On the motion.
Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
Height.
Yes.
R-1924, Mayor Smith.
Please call it.
A resolution certifying the amount of a cleanup lien to be filed with Pulaski County Tax Collector against real property located at 2216 West 16th Street in the city of North Little Rock.
Move for adoption.
Second.
On the motion.
Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
And Height.
Yes.
R-1925, Mayor Smith.
Please call it.
A resolution certifying the amount of a cleanup lien to be filed with Pulaski County Tax Collector against certain real property located at 400 East 21st Street in the city of North Little Rock.
Move for adoption.
Second.
On the motion.
Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
Height.
Yes.
R-1926, Mayor Smith.
Please call it.
Resolution certifying the amount of a cleanup lien to be filed with Pulaski County Tax Collector against property located at 413 Division Street in the city of North Little Rock.
Move for adoption.
Second.
On the motion.
Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
And Height.
Yes.
R-1927, Mayor Smith.
Okay, let's stop right there just for a second. These next are
Condemnations.
condemnations. I'm going to pull 1930, R-1930. Withdraw it, please.
Okay.
And then Janice is here to talk about R-1931. So now's the time if you want to come up.
So you're convening a public hearing on all of those?
Yeah, watch me.
Okay, I'm watching.
Yeah, excuse me, just a minute. I'm calling a public hearing. Let me read them out, okay?
Yeah.
21 I'm having a public hearing on the following addresses. If you're here to speak on those, you're welcome to come up. 2119 West 16th Street, 2200 East Washington, 2204 East Washington, 1323 Franklin, 4132 East Washington. So if any of you want to speak on any of those addresses, come forward. Ms. Starkey has the mic. Go ahead, Janice, 3 minutes.
So you did this just for me?
Absolutely.
I know. How about that? I didn't even realize that this was going to be on the docket until this afternoon, about 3 o'clock. I know that Helen, okay, I'm Janice Starkey, and I'm speaking for Helen Brantz. The property belongs to her.
Okay.
Okay? I knew she received a ticket from a code for a citation, and she had to go to court about the ticket. And the judge gave her until the 21st of February to show improvement on the house. And if she did that, she would go back at that time and he would extend it. Per the conversation I had with you, I thought there wasn't a problem because the judge overruled the council. Now, maybe I misunderstood our conversation, but that's the way I took the conversation we had. So the reason I'm bringing this now is I know that this piece of property has been found as a nuisance. I have got pictures here of when she started on this house and pictures of what it looked like this afternoon. And if anyone, I'm pass these around. But this is what the piece of property looked like, and this is what the piece of property looked like this afternoon. And you can look from the inside, the electricity's been done, the plumbing has been done. I believe if it was to do over, Helen would not have started on this project. She started on the project before our father got sick, and Daddy wanted to work on it, so Daddy was working on it. Then Daddy got sick, Helen quit working on it, Daddy died, there were things that went on then our mother got sick and things went on then. Then Helen got busy on other properties and had not been working on this specific piece of property. Had knee surgery last year, which, by the way, she did very well. I don't know how about the gentleman that just left, but she did great on her surgery. And so far, she has spent $14,365.19 on repairs to this. She's got the sheetrock in, she's got it floated, she's got the kitchen redone. She's completely redoing the whole house. She removed everything out of that house and has put new plumbing in. I believe she's done everything. Here's a copy of the bills, the receipt. I believe she's done everything she could do to get that piece of property. It's not ready to live in right yet, but it's getting really close. We've had some different feelings from the code office. We had somebody that looked at it and approved one thing, and then they said they couldn't look at it, and then they put it to somebody else, and then we asked them to come look on the inside. They wouldn't come look on the inside. So anyway, that's where we are. It is a house that is being renovated. She owns half that street already, the houses on that street in the Barron Cross area. So this would just be one more house on that street that she would own, and it will either be sold or rented. So anyway, I just wanted y'all to be aware that this is not a piece of property that's been neglected. It's not a piece of property that is truly a nuisance. It's an old piece of property that's being worked on, just like the building you're talking about. And I live in Park Hill in a 100-year-old home, and I know how it is to repair. So, anyway, that's what I have to say.
Okay, thank you, Janice. Yes, ma'am. Come to the microphone and identify yourself.
I'm Lisa Dusenberry. I'm here for 2119 West 16th, a different address.
Okay, sure.
I would like an extension, if at all possible. I heard that once you guys meet, we have 30 days. I need longer than that because we have been through the ringer. There's a lot of things, obstacles that I've had to overcome. I've been working on it. It's a work in I need more time before whoever tears it down. I would like to build it back up, but there's no way that I could come up with the money, and probably the timeline would not work. I'd like an extension. I would like information on what's our options. I don't want them tearing it down to dirt level. I really don't, you know. I just really don't like that idea. I don't know if there's any way around that.
Not much. The situation right now is that if it's voted on tonight, then you have 30 days to come and negotiate a contract with our legal department, but you got to put up a bond. And if you put up a bond, then they will give you X number of days to get it done, and if you don't, you forfeit the bond. So that's going to be about your only option at this point in time.
So there's no chance of getting an extension?
Not unless it's something like what Ms. Starkey's talking about, where you've already got about 3/4 of it done. I mean, if you hadn't started any work on it at all, I don't see a way towards it.
No, I have been, but I've had, it's been a nightmare, pretty much. I'm just wanting, I don't know. How much does this bond cost?
Well, do you know how much the cost is going to be on your home to fix it up?
Oh, okay.
I mean, if it's going to be $50,000 to fix it, then you'd have to put up a bond for $50,000. Be about 10% or something like that.
The bond is for the cost of the
tear down.
demolition.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's less than that, and it depends, you know, the cost of demolition is different depending on the circumstances, whether there's asbestos in the house or not, and I think that code usually can help you to get an idea of what the cost of demolition is gonna be, but it's not in the $50,000 range.
So it's more than 4 or 5.
Right.
Okay.
And I need her name for the record. I missed that.
Lisa Dusenberry.
Very, okay.
Yes, my mother owns the property.
Okay.
She actually propositioned me with a quitclaim deed, but I don't think that'd be in my best interest.
Ross?
Now, there was a fire. When was the fire?
August 13th.
Okay, so
There's been a lot
has there been
going
work
on.
done since then?
Yeah, I've actually been trying to salvage and scrap there. It's not a total, it wasn't a total wash. There was a lot of things that survived, and including the whole back part of the house. I've talked to enough people that I know I had ideas, but my ideas all got shot down, so.
Felicia with code.
Felicia, come up if you don't mind.
Do I stay up here or sit down?
You just stand beside right there. You're fine. Let's hear what the officer says.
Felicia, I have questions regarding the two pieces of property. First, where's my screen? I'm not computer
The one she's
savvy.
talking about right now is that one out there.
Okay, let's go to 2119 West 16th.
Officer Williams, speak on.
Inform us about that. Tell us about it.
Well, the house burned back August 30th, 2018, and I had visited with the owner prior to that date, well, after that date. Nothing has been done, basically. The cars has been moved. The house is still basically in the same condition that she stated, that she's trying to salvage some stuff out of the house. But as far as we know of, we hadn't been contacted to say that the house had truly been cleaned out at this point. So in my mind, the house has pretty much still got burned out items in it.
Okay.
Okay, which other one do you want?
My other one is 1320,
1323 Franklin?
yes, 1323 Franklin. Give us an update on that one. We've seen pictures here tonight, but talk to us about 1323 Franklin.
Okay, on this particular house, we've been dealing with Ms. Brent for a number of years regarding this property after she purchased it from the guy that Mr. Williams, Lester Williams, that used to own it, I believe is his name. We had wrote him numerous violations in regards to that property, and she purchased it
Approximately 5 years ago.
in 2013. And we've been working with Ms. Brent. She's been giving us promises that they was going to fix the house, and she tells me that I got other houses that, 25-plus houses, and I don't have time to work on it. And now that we didn't come to this point in time in the situation is that I did issue Ms. Brent a citation on that house back a couple of months ago, and went before the judge, and she indicated to the judge that she would have it ready back when she went to court. And at this time, I checked this afternoon, and there's no plumbing permit pulled. So if she's doing sheetrock work, I'm sure that the plumbing inspector is going to make her take that out. And as far as electrical, I understand that she do have electrical permit, but the electrical hasn't been finalized as far as I know of, and there hasn't been anything done. So, and also we checked with Ms. Whitby's office, and she have not had a business permit since 2014.
Okay, any other questions of code? Okay, thank you all very much. Anybody else here to speak on any of those addresses that I spoke of? Seeing none, close the public hearing on the motion. Well, let's go into the first one of them, I guess, 1927.
In 1927, a resolution declaring certain buildings, houses, and other structures located at 2119 West 16th Street in the city of North Little Rock to constitute a public nuisance and condemning such structures, providing a period of time for property owner to abate said nuisance.
Which one we voting on? Which one?
1927.
1927.
Oh. Do I have a motion?
So move. Second.
On the motion.
Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Ginn?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
R 1928, Mayor Smith.
Please call it.
A resolution declaring certain buildings, houses, and other structures located at 2200 East Washington Avenue in the city of North Little Rock to constitute a public nuisance and condemning such structures, providing a period of time for property owner to abate said nuisance.
So move.
Second.
On the motion.
Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
R 1929, Mayor Smith.
Please call it.
A resolution declaring certain buildings, houses, and other structures located at 2204 East Washington Avenue in the city of North Little Rock to constitute a public nuisance and condemning such structures, providing a period of time for property owner to abate said nuisance.
So move.
Second.
On the motion.
Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
R 1930 was pulled. R 1931, Mayor Smith.
Please call it.
A resolution declaring certain buildings, houses, and other structures located at 1323 Franklin Street in the city of North Little Rock to constitute a public nuisance and condemning said structures, providing a period of time for property owner to abate said nuisance.
So move.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Question? Ms. Ross, Ms. White. Ms. White, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I should have asked this question before, but in conversation, when Ms. Starkey was speaking, she said something about the judge had given them till February. Is that February of 2019? I'm a little confused by that. That's. Okay.
Can you address that, Felicia or Cedric?
Come to the microphone. I can't hear. I can't hear.
I'm the same way.
Yes, when we issue citations, the judge will give them a date to abate the nuisance. That in no way has anything to do with the city council date. She was issued a city council date, and she was advised that your property will be going before city council. Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Ross, Ms. White, go ahead.
I don't quite get that.
Well,
Sorry.
probably we started the ball rolling on the condemnation before she went in front of the judge.
Right,
And she goes before the judge for citations.
exactly.
Yeah.
Which are two entirely separate things. The citation is a whole different process than the condemnation. While it's about the same property and the same conditions, it's two separate ways to address it. And
If we issue them a notice of city council and there's still nothing being done, the property is still a public nuisance. They are then issued a citation, hopefully to jumpstart something or whatever, but it does not affect the city council date unless the property is completely renovated.
I tell you what, that I'll do on this particular one. I'm gonna hold this one, okay? And, Janice, you and Helen have gotta get serious, and I want a whole lot of stuff going on between now and 2 weeks from now. And, then if we don't see a whole lot of improvement and code's not satisfied that you guys are working, from dusk to dawn, then I'm gonna call it, okay?
They need to get their permits pulled also.
Okay.
They were issued a notice to stop work because they were working without a permit, and planning just released that permit today.
Okay, all right, we also, if those business license that's required, all, people, we got. Okay, we'll look at all those. But we still got to do business license for the last 3 years.
Well, it's actually the current year plus 3. So it'll
Current year
be-
plus 3, so 2019, 2018, 17, 16. All right, well, I'm gonna hold this particular one. You want to make comments, Mr. Taylor?
Well, I guess my question would be, why would this one be different than any other one that we go ahead with the process of condemnation and then they enter into a rehab agreement with the city attorney's office code and go through that process like we do every other condemnation?
We've showed good faith.
You have to come up here. I can't hear. I can't hear.
We've got pictures showing.
Okay, let's hold off. Okay, I'm in charge here, okay? Correct me if I'm wrong, I have the authority to hold that legislation. Okay, I don't normally do that, but in this situation, I'm a little confused too, and I know these people, have known them for years, and so they're pretty good folks. So I'm gonna hold it. Okay?
Mayor,
Yes.
can I make a comment about this whole process? It seems to me that at the stroke of midnight, we find out about a house that's being condemned, and we don't know where they are. We have no foreknowledge or about the process that they've been going through to notify them that it's going to come up with condemnation, and then after all that process has gone through, then we get to vote on whether or not to condemn it or not. And I just wondered if there's any way we could tweak the process to warn us about something that's coming up on city council in a few weeks and they're in the process of trying to work that out.
I mean, we can.
Rather than them coming here and pleading for mercy.
We can certainly do that, but overall experience, we've done thousands of these probably, and 2 out of 1,000 have a certain circumstance like Ms. Starkey's family does. So, 999 out of 1,000, code enforcement has begged these people to do something about these homes. So this is just 1 in 1,000 that I'm asking for us to hold it. Ms. Ross, Mr. Taylor, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Well, I think we have a process in place, and we just had testimony from our code enforcement officers. They've been working on this on this particular house for 5 years, trying to get something done on this house. And then when the heat's turned up, now all of a sudden we're scrambling trying to get work done. And we've had plenty of people come to that podium with the same story, but we have deputies and lieutenants out there doing the work, and when they come and they say they've been working for somebody for 5 years, I don't know. So in my mind, then we should do the same. If we're going to do it for them, we should do it for everybody.
Well, did they send out a notice of condemnation? Did they send out a notice?
I guarantee you they did.
Then why aren't we made aware of that notice has gone out and get ready? We're gonna,
I get enough notices. I'm gonna trust our people.
Well, we don't have a choice. I mean, tonight, we can, to get the process started, to force them to come up with a time frame, we condemn it. Otherwise, it's a gentleman's agreement. That way you say you're gonna fix it, and if we don't condemn it, then, we have to take their word for it. So the best procedure is normally for us to condemn something, but we don't know about it until the night we vote on it. We don't, I don't, you don't.
Okay, let's go back, Mr. Baxter, Ms. Ross.
Okay, I'm kind of confused on what Councilmember Height's saying, because this certification was sent out in October to them. I don't want to list, because, there's some that are, they bring it up to code. How would we know which ones are brought up, which ones weren't? We got this last Tuesday, we could have checked on. This came out last Tuesday. So I guess I'm confused on, I don't want a list of the certifications that are sent out, believe me.
Absolutely, none of us do.
Well, and I guarantee you that if this house was brought up to where it's supposed to be, and they would have told those folks, it wouldn't be on this list. I guarantee you.
But it's not.
So it needs to be torn down.
That's right.
Okay, where are we, Ms. Whitby?
You said you were going to hold that one, so
That's correct.
The next one is R 1932.
Well, don't we need to go back to, okay, you're right. All right, R 1932, call it.
Did you just question me?
I did. I lost my mind just for a little bit.
R 1932, a resolution declaring certain buildings, houses, and other structures located at 4132 East Washington Street in the city of North Little Rock to constitute a public nuisance and condemning said structures, providing a period of time for property owner to abate said nuisance.
How about a motion? How about a second?
Second.
On the motion.
Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Pass.
Okay. Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
Okay, we're up to ordinances. 01905, Mayor Smith.
Please call it.
An ordinance establishing job classifications and numbers of employees for each department of the city government of North Little Rock for 2019. And there is an amendment.
Move to suspend the readings.
Got a motion to suspend all readings on the
Second.
motion?
Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
And we have an amendment now.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, on
everybody,
the-
they should have it on their desk.
Did somebody move to amend?
I'm doing it.
Okay, and it's just in, section 21 on page 10 on Arkansas Inland Maritime Museum to change the title of operations manager to office manager, to add that.
Okay, is that your amendment, Ms. Ross?
Yes.
How about a second?
Second.
Any questions on the motion?
On the motion to amend, Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
Is there a motion to adopt?
Adopt, are you adopting?
I have a question.
Question?
Parks is adding 4 people, well, actually 5, I guess. I'm just, we never see that many jobs come through in one department at one time. I'm just wondering if they added a new department or what's going on there, or is there additional?
Here comes Ms. Anderson.
What he's decided to do is, because of the use in the park, he needs more parks maintenance workers. So he added more parks maintenance workers because he cannot keep the full-time ones filled. He cannot keep the part-time ones filled, so he's going to fill the full-time ones.
So he's taking the part-time? I
Yes,
see what he's
the
doing there.
intermittent, yes, he is,
So,
to fill the full-time.
okay, because he can't get part-time employees.
Right, they want benefits, so they don't stay. So it's more beneficial to fill the full-time positions rather than fill the part-time.
And they're needed, correct?
Absolutely.
Even though we've been using part-time?
Well, the problem is that we're paying more comp time to individuals because the part-time people don't stay, and it's like a revolving door. So sometimes he's short and people are working overtime.
Having to pay overtime.
Ms. Scott, you want to add to that?
I was just going to say, these positions were all included in the 2019 budget.
Okay.
Everything on the quarter ordinance is included in the 2019 budget.
Thank you. Do we have a motion?
No, sir.
How about a motion to adopt as amended?
So moved.
How about a second on the motion?
On the motion, Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
On the emergency, Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
01906, Mayor Smith.
Please call it.
An ordinance amending the non-uniformed employees policy and procedure manual regarding employees retiring under the disability provisions of any pension plan. First reading.
How about a motion?
Move to suspend the readings.
Second.
On the motion to suspend the readings?
Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
How about a motion to adopt
So move.
Second.
on the motion?
No, I would like for Miss Anderson to come
Okay.
explain. Just
You got a what?
explain that, if Mrs. Anderson could come, is Miss Anderson still in there? Betty? Just kind of explain to us what this is, the Medicare and the disability and all of this, and maybe the reason why,
Yeah, the reason why we're doing this, normally when people become Social Security disabled and they retire, they are not allowed to stay on our insurance. But however, we did some research and they are allowed to stay on our insurance if they are Medicare disabled. But if they are Medicare eligible, age 65, they are not, but if they're Medicare eligible, then they can, disability eligible, then they can.
but with them paying the full amount though, correct?
Yes, what they'll do is they have to pay the full amount of the premium.
Okay.
So if they're single and the premium is $450, they pay the full amount of the premium.
Okay, gotcha.
And they're allowed to stay on as long as they seem fit to.
And they can carry their dependent coverage also, is that correct if they pull the full amount, or is it just strictly the individual?
Just the individual, not the dependent coverage.
Okay,
Mhm.
all right, thank you.
Where are we?
You have a motion and a second to adopt.
On the motion?
Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
On the emergency, Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
01907, Mayor Smith.
Please call it.
An ordinance amending Chapter 13, Section 2.3.1 of the North Little Rock Municipal Code to prohibit the commercial pickup of dumpsters adjacent to residential property between the hours of 10 p.m. and 6 a.m., repealing ordinance number 7500, first reading.
Move suspend all readings.
Second.
On the motion to suspend all readings?
Ross?
Yes.
White?
We have an amendment, though.
Yeah, but can we do this
We got to
first?
get it first.
Taylor? We're calling the roll on suspending the readings before you do a motion to amend.
Yes.
He just interrupted was all. Okay. Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
All right, go for it.
Now,
Okay, amendment. Who's doing
between
that?
our city attorney and myself, we have an amendment to offer.
Okay,
Okay. Councilmember Height asked me to do an amendment so that this prohibition would also apply to temporary lodging properties such as hotels, motels, bed and breakfasts, so that the visitors to our city, as well as our residents, would not be disturbed by dumpsters being emptied between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. And so in the title, I added the words located on or adjacent to residential property and temporary lodging properties. And then in section 1 of the ordinance, added the language, in addition, the commercial pickup of garbage from any dumpster that is located on or adjacent to any property that is used for temporary lodging, including but not limited to hotels, motels, bed and breakfasts, RV parks, campgrounds, and inns, is prohibited between the hours of 10 p.m. and 6 a.m.
as y'all know, we've been fighting this for a long time, and when we found out that we really didn't have an ordinance to cover it, is what brought this to fruition, so that's why we're here.
When does it go into effect?
We dealt with this how many years ago? Several
12.
years? Specifically up at
12
Lakewood.
years.
Yeah, and we never have fixed it.
But it's come back up.
I mean, we thought we could ask our trash haulers to comply without setting a law up, and they haven't. What happens, I found out just through talking, is that these people on route completion, and on certain days, and it seems like it happens more on Fridays, that they get up early at 3 o'clock in the morning and start their route so that they can finish by noon on Friday afternoon so they can have a long weekend. And that's just not what we want them to do. Mr. Baxter?
Okay, so my question is, I think this is great, but where's the enforcement coming from?
Question.
Obviously, we don't have code on duty between the hours of 10 p.m. and 6 a.m., and I would venture to say that even with our police having that authority, they gone by the time that they're notified, or I get it's not an emergency call, so they're not going to be able to see it take place. So hey, as far as I'm concerned, you could put 10,000 on there for each offense, and we're going to have problems, actually enforcing that, because there's nobody going to be there to see them do that.
Well, you'd be surprised. Let's just see how it works. I don't know how else to work on it.
That's what I see about it, Mayor.
But I mean, these are all locations that we know of, and, it's right there on Camp Robinson behind those restaurants is one of the places that's pretty bad. Up around the other center used to be a problem.
Lakewood Village.
So we know where those problem children are, and when we get complaints, then we can send a code officer out there. Our sanitation code officer could go out there early. He could go work early and get off at 5 o'clock.
Well, if I remember correctly, that it's complaint driven, and, the person that's living in the house across the street from where the dumpster is being serviced at 3 a.m. in the morning is probably going to call and report them.
Yeah, and if it's me and I live in that house, I'm gonna take a picture of that truck.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be time-stamped,
Yeah.
Well, and I much to the chagrin of some of my friends, as a Air Force guy, when we go TDY, we don't stay in tents. Thank goodness, we stay in five-star hotels. And, it's great that, we're afforded that opportunity. However, it's hard enough to sleep away from home, and to have your sleep interrupted by a dumpster, even insult to injury, so
Ms.
I'm
Robinson?
glad we
When
included
does this
those.
go into effect?
Well, if we do emergency, 30 days?
If we do an emergency immediately.
Immediately.
Okay. Ms. Ross?
Okay, so I think we're all on the same enforcement wavelength here. There's no defined who enforces this. So would this be something that, if somebody has a complaint, do they call sanitation? Is that who they call? Who do you contact when a dumpster is, I've been contacted numerous times, and it's on JFK, the house is on Cypress, all along JFK, every house behind JFK, we've got that. We've got it on Pine. First Pentecostal Church, their dumpster picks up and affects everybody up on Skyline. I mean, it's all over the whole city. So who do they call, and who's going to enforce this?
Well, with this ordinance, the police department will have the authority to do that, so will our sanitation code officer to
that's
do
what I
that.
wanted to know.
You know as well as I do who they're going to call. First, they're going to call you,
Right.
then they're going to call me,
Yep.
and then we're going to call code, and we're going to call police, and we'll try to figure it out. So,
You're going to call Chief Bradley.
that's right. Ms. White?
May I have my name added to that legislation, please?
Absolutely.
So I can't tell you how many contacts I've had to make on
Without
several.
objection, we'll add Ms. White to
Not to the
that.
amendment,
I
well,
would-
the new one, yes.
I wouldn't doubt that everybody probably might want theirs added too.
All right, who doesn't want their name on this? Let's add everybody's name to it.
Just put everybody on there.
All right, have we, did we amend it?
No, sir, you only have a motion to amend. There's no second.
Second.
On the motion to amend,
Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
Height?
Yes. Motion to adopt as amended.
Second, and I have one more comment.
go ahead.
So it's 1 o'clock in the morning, and they've just banged, or 3 in the morning. That normally the time is around 3 in the morning when they're coming through. Do I call the police non-emergency number? Please don't call me. So would they call the police non-emergency number?
They can, that's not a problem at all, we'll make a note of it.
And that way it's documented, the location,
I got it.
and
If we get that type of complaint, I live by Fellowship Church, they would do that. I called the company, and that's what we would probably do, or sanitation would call the company and let them know, we got a complaint, 3 o'clock in the morning, you're out here picking that up. If we get another one, then we'll cite you. I think
And let
that's
them know
gonna
that it's
work-
a
I think it's
5
gonna work out pretty well.
okay, so 758-1234 in the middle of the night. There you go.
Okay, where are we?
Ready to call the roll on the motion?
On the motion.
Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
On the emergency, Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
1908, Mayor Smith.
Please call it.
An ordinance waiving formal bidding requirements for the purchase of a 38-foot LED Christmas tree from Temple Display Limited. First reading.
How about a motion? I'll explain it.
Move to suspend the readings.
Second.
On the motion to suspend,
Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
See, what we're doing here is, at Christmas time, I was in Texas and saw this beautiful tree in the courtyard of, I can't remember the name, South Lake, I think is what it was called. And so I put Mary Beth on top of it, trying to figure out where that tree came from and where the tree came from that was in the Convention Center lobby over at Marriott in the Convention Center. And she did a lot of research, and we were led to this group, and there was of course, after Christmas sale, believe it or not, and it was 30% cheaper than normal for the next 30 days. And everybody was completely satisfied that we followed up with this company. And so in order to get this 30% discount, we had to act now, and I thought it was worth that 30% to go in this direction and ask you guys to let us buy it. Ms. Ross?
Where will the current tree go?
The plaza. And it's being paid for by Convention and Visitors Bureau.
So where is this one going then that we're bidding on, that we're voting on tonight?
Oh, this one?
Uh-huh.
Oh, this goes in the plaza.
But where's the current one going?
Oh, I don't know, wherever you want it to go.
Okay,
It's the
Ward
ugliest-
1 would like it.
It's the ugliest Christmas tree this side of Mississippi.
We would like it.
Yeah.
I'll put in first dibs then.
Yeah, we'll, wherever you want to put it, be fine with me. So that's the story.
So that means Bob Majors is responsible for plugging it in every year? Is that-
Hey, you know, we almost didn't get it, maybe an hour before the lighting ceremony, we finally got it fixed, but anyway.
There is free shipping if we buy by the end of the month, too.
Yeah, yeah, so we'll pick up that savings also, so, I mean, we have a first-class plaza, we need a pretty Christmas tree, no doubt. Were we suspended the rules?
The rules have been suspended. You need a motion and a second to adopt.
How about a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
On the motion.
On the motion to adopt, Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
01909, Councilmember Robinson.
Diane, the emergency,
Oh, on the emergency. Sorry about that. Yeah, on the emergency, Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
Now, 01909, Councilmember Robinson.
Please call it.
A resolution allowing a special use for a daycare center in an R4 zone for property located at 901 Parker Street in the city of North Little Rock.
Is the applicant here?
Yes.
Okay. Move to suspend all readings.
Second.
On the motion to suspend all readings?
Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
01910, Councilmember, man, I am really trying to speed this along. I'm jumping
How
off.
about a motion to adopt?
There we go.
So move.
Second.
On the motion.
On the motion to adopt, Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
On the emergency, Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
Okay, now, next one, 01910, Mayor Smith.
No.
No, it's not. I'm going to have to talk to my little note typers. Just saying.
Councilmember Robinson.
Councilmember Robinson.
Please call it.
An ordinance amending an existing planned use development, PUD, located at 214 West Fifth Street in the city of North Little Rock to allow an acupuncture business instead of an engineering firm. First reading.
Before I move further, I just want to make a comment. 10 or 15 years ago, I sponsored this PUD, and so it just gives me great pleasure to sponsor it tonight. I move that we suspend all readings.
Second.
On the motion to suspend all readings?
Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
How about a motion to adopt?
Adopt. Second. So move.
Second.
There we go, on the motion.
Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
On the emergency, Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
Did I say the emergency? I did. 01911, council members Harris and Baxter.
Please call it.
An ordinance approving a hillside cut to remove materials on property located along MacArthur Drive in the city of North Little Rock. First reading.
Move to suspend the readings.
So move.
On the motion to suspend all readings?
Second, I'm sorry.
Same thing.
Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
Move for adoption.
Second, do I have a second?
Second.
Any questions on the vote? Mr.
Yeah,
Taylor?
what are we doing?
All right, so the applicant here is going to, there's already a dig out there already at this location. What he's doing is extending it further back away from the road in MacArthur, and he's doing so in such a manner as he meets everything that the team put together several years ago in reference to a favorable hillside cut. There's no amendments to anything. He's not asking for any waivers, just to comply with what we already have on the books.
Okay.
I think Chris Wilburn back there is raising his hand.
Chris, come to the microphone, please.
Oh.
But people were told to come to the meeting. I think there should be a public meeting on this.
Nobody signed up to speak against it.
oh, we're supposed to convene a public hearing on this.
Well, by golly, we can do it. Okay, we have a public hearing now, and anybody wanting to speak on 1911? Did I see in the back? Come on, identify yourself, and you have 3 minutes.
Thank you, sir. My name is Darrell Kitchens, and we have property just across the road from where this is going to take place. It's a residential. We have families still living there, and this will just, to our way of thinking, just deter from it being a residential area. It's going into a more of a commercial area. So, also the noise, it's going to be heavier traffic in and out. So that's just something we want you to consider when you take this under. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Mayor.
I'm Dr. Robert Stanley, and I live near where the cutout is going to be happening. And I really don't have an idea what it's going to look like, how far back in, what they're going to do. So it's just wanted a little more information, and that's what I thought I was going to hear tonight. So,
Yeah, Doctor, we don't normally do that.
why are they having the hearing if it's already been approved? I guess, why was I asked to come down here?
You were asked to come and state your comments on what you thought, if you were against it or for it, or if you would like for us to hold it so that you could see what it looked like. So
how will I find that out, what it'll look like?
You can just ask.
Who do I ask?
Right now.
Well, why don't you ask me?
I'm asking you. What will
Okay.
All right. When you say it'll go back, how far back from MacArthur will it go?
There should
Will it be
be
behind
drawings,
the fire station?
Have you got
And
it?
what kind of equipment will be used? I don't really think I'm against it, but I just don't want to say, I want to know what it's going to look like.
Okay, so as far as, you live at the end of Sunset, that's where
That's
you
correct.
live. And it's the buffer that we're required to maintain between the cut and a residential lot is gonna be, they're gonna make that, they're gonna meet that requirement.
What is the buffer?
250, 300, where's Chris?
I can't remember the
Well,
exact
Doctor,
number.
hey,
It's 250.
Well, let's hold this for 5 minutes. You can go over there with our city engineer and let him show it to you.
That's it all.
Okay.
Let's
All
move
right, we'll hold that. Let's go on to the next one, and then we'll come back. Are you involved in that, Thomas?
Yes.
Okay. All right, let's go to 13, then we'll come back to,
Okay. 13 is an ordinance allowing a special use for an upholstery business in a C3 zone for property located at 2400 Pike Avenue in the city of North Little Rock. First reading.
Move to suspend the readings.
Second.
on the motion to suspend all readings.
Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
How about a motion?
Move for adoption, and,
Second.
Second.
and this is the correct Mr. Robert on this one, on Mr. Martinez, so,
Okay.
there we go.
All right, how about, we got a motion and a
Ready to
second?
go.
Yes, sir.
On the motion.
Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
On the emergency, Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
I do want to remind any of the business applicants to come in and get their business license.
Absolutely. Okay, I'm gonna go on in public comment while they're out there sorting through that, and I believe we only have one, and, Captain Lynn Deersall. You're good? Okay. Okay, if it's okay with y'all, let's take a 2-minute, take a breath for about 2 minutes, and then we'll see if Dr. Stanley wants to come back in and make any comments.
Steve, what are they going to do with the dirt? What are they going to do with the dirt they remove?
Some of it's gonna be for projects
Okay. Dr. Stanley, would you like to finish your comments now, sir?
I think they just gave us information, and we're just, a lot of unanswered questions, but
Well, I think the sponsor wants to call that legislation tonight, and so we'll call it and vote on it, and then we'll go from there.
Does that mean that it's going to be held?
No, ma'am. Your sponsor wants to call it. Ms. White?
Mayor, can we hear what that conversation, can we be privy to any of that conversation?
Sure. Chris,
Can we just hear?
can you come and tell us what you were explaining to the doctor?
I was just, I was going over the engineering of it and explaining the location, what the buffer zones are, what the requirements. As y'all know, the hillside regulations require a certain amount of vegetation on disturbed areas. The plan view does show, you know, the potential phase one cuts in a couple of the pits, and it shows the Hall Road for getting in and out of it. So I was kind of going through all that information.
Okay, any other comments? Yes, ma'am, come ahead.
Thank you.
I'm Susan Kitchens, and this is my daughter Heather. And we own the property right across the street from the firehouse. And our concern is this was all our family property at one time, the Howman subdivision. And the last thing that we want to see, Heather has got an autistic child that is very sensitive. She's had him in the hospital many times with reactions to smoke and burning of stuff that shouldn't even be burned. I have called the city many times with being right across the street. When they come into the house, when the people are burning from the businesses around, it comes all through the house. They've had headaches and allergies, infections. We're concerned with all of the big equipment coming in, the digging and the cutting the trees down, how it's going to look and how it's going to affect the prices of our houses. From what we've seen right down the street, closer toward North Little Rock, they dug out a hill there, and it's a dump. That's all it is. They ran it for a few years as a business, and now it's just a dump. It's not anything to look at. And I just think that we're going downhill to have this. I've got Parkinson's. I lived there many years, and there's concrete equipment. There's people next door burning stuff that's supposed to be. We were here a few months ago with the people, and I've called code enforcement many times on them burning and junking up everything, and I've gotten no response other than they can't handle it. And we're afraid that if that comes in, she's going to end up with more problems. I've got a lot of problems. I've had the Parkinson's and the cancer from this possible stuff, and I don't want to see that for my grandchildren.
Thank you, Ms. Kitchens. Other comments? Ms. White?
Is there somebody can answer a question on the burning part of this? Is burning going to be done on this property?
My name is Grant Garrett. I'm applying on behalf of me and my company, Grant Garrett Excavating. And I'm a third-generation company. My grandfather started our business back in 1950. I live in Hot Springs, but I own an office in Benton, and I do the majority of my work in Pulaski, Saline, and Faulkner County. And when I saw this piece of property, we're getting more and more job opportunities in North Little Rock. We're doing the dirt work on Car Tie. and the new hotel over off of McCain. And that's where some of this material is going to be taken for the short term. But when I saw this piece of property, I saw an opportunity, and I saw a current safety hazard. Right now out there is a vertical cut that some contractor left years ago out there where somebody could fall off of and get hurt. The material got hard where they couldn't excavate it with the equipment that they had at that time. And I saw an opportunity to improve this piece of property, both aesthetically and monetarily. And that's why I'm here. You're asking me about the burning. We burn on 95% of our projects. Where we can't burn, we haul the trees off. We have forced air incinerators that virtually eliminate the smoke on the fires. And I'm sympathetic to the neighbors, and everywhere I go, my reputation is more to me than any one project. And I can tell you that I have a vested interest to get along with and be a good neighbor and go forward in good faith. And I would never do anything intentionally to interrupt these people's day-to-day lives. But the piece of property, the way it currently sits, has safety hazards on it, and it's not very valuable, nor is it very attractive. And it's not to my benefit to junk a piece of property up or leave it partially done or abandon it. This is an investment for me, and I want to improve my investment and get the most out of it that I can, and do so complying with all of the city and state regulations and being a good neighbor to the people that surround me.
Thank you very much. Ms. Robbins?
I know that you mentioned excavating. Are you going to put a building? What are you going to put there?
Well, it's currently zoned commercial, is the way I understand it, and I can't tell you with any amount of certainty exactly what the piece of property will be used for, but its value right now is not very good in the shape that it's currently in. It's not a very attractive piece of property, but it could be a number of things. It could be anything on the commercial side from any number of different things.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Height?
Wow, that's awful. How long of a process is this going to take out there?
Well, that's a good question. I don't have an exact answer for you. It's not something we anticipate being there every day, sun up to sundown, and working on. We're going to work on it as we have time and as we have need to work on it. I've hired a soils engineer to kind of tell me what the rock is, or the material is down deep. There is some hard veins of rock in that hillside that I intend not to disturb, and it will actually increase our buffer zone over what is required by the city. So we're going to identify, if we get your permission to proceed, we're going to identify where that is, and we're going to start at that point and work our way down from that. And I'd like to also add, there was some concern about us going out there and potholing and working over here and working over here. We have a systematic approach to developing these pieces of property like this. I've done it many times in my career, and the systematic approach is the most efficient, cheapest way for me to do it. So it's to my benefit to do it this way. It will look the best while we're doing it. It'll look like professionals are out there and that we know what we're doing.
Are you going to have to do any demolition out there?
I don't think there's any demolition. There's the clearing of the trees is going to be the first thing that we do before we can export any material.
So you're gonna do to work on this a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time, and so a year from now you could still be doing it. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. But it's going to look better immediately from when we start compared to what it looks like now. You can tell where other contractors have been back in there and just dug holes, and there's vertical cliffs, and we're going to get rid of that during our process.
Okay.
Ms. Ross?
Will you be doing any blasting?
No.
No blasting?
If we had to do a lot of blasting, economically, it wouldn't make any sense, so we're not going to do any of that.
Mr. Taylor?
I am so confused. So, and here's where my confusion is coming in at. So, you're a developer, right?
I'm an excavating contractor, but I'm buying this
Excavating
piece of
contractor.
property for development.
And you're buying this piece of property for development, but you don't know what you're gonna put on it.
I know that it has a certain commercial value if it's in a developable state, and it's not currently in that state. But I have the resources to make it, to get it to that state. Yes, ma'am.
They mentioned burning. So this piece of property is in the city limits. So they're allowed to burn.
With a burn permit.
Burn permit.
So you have a burn permit to burn.
And typically what we do is, when we start a project like this, we'll apply for a burn permit, and either it is issued or not issued. If it's not issued, we know we have to haul the trees away. If it's issued, we start our burning process. And I understand the neighbor's concern, because a lot of my competitors think that they try to burn dirt, and dirt smokes a lot. And if you do a good job cleaning the brush, there's very little smoke within 5 minutes after you starting the fire. But in the event that we get a lot of complaints, and sometimes they will come and revoke our burn permit, and at that point we have to stop burning, and then we have to haul the brush off. So we follow the rules. And I would like to add, there's a fire station literally right there. It is my neighbor, and I've been in there and talked to those guys too. So,
All right, let's stand aside. Anybody else? Yes, ma'am. State your name for us.
Heather Chenault, and I just want to second everything that my mom said, but I do not want this going on next door to us anymore. We've had tons of other companies that have come into our residential area and turned it industrial, and we've had other people that are doing similar type things, even next door to us, in a property that was supposed to be finished up in about a year, and now we're going on about 5 years. Because the developer kept running out of money, and so he would bulldoze stuff, he would burn stuff all the time, and then stuff would grow back up, and then he would get more money and try to start doing it all over again. So we would have bulldozers out there at all times of night. We would have wrecking crews coming out there, constant burning every single day from the time that my children wake up until I put them to bed. We would have to call the police multiple times with them running heavy machinery all through the night, 3 and 4 a.m., with my children not able to sleep. And we just do not want any more industrial in our neighborhood. We're tired of all the smoke. We're tired of all the noise. We're tired of all the traffic issues because of it. And everywhere around us, it looks like a junkyard now. And we had, growing up in that neighborhood, it was all residential. It was beautiful. Everyone could play outside, and we all did. My children, over the last 3 years, have not been able to play outside. We have to go to the park if they want to have any outdoor time because of all the constant burning with all of the industrial around our home. And I'm really tired of it. We don't have the money to go and buy a new house just because everyone wants to keep, doing timber or whatever it is that they're, collecting shell out of a hillside. That's not, we are in a residential area, and it's just, a lot of the residents are really, really tired of our property values going down and our health. We just cannot continue to let our health go down just because people want to sit and, continually get burn bans, or just, burn permits and burn all the time. Because even though they may say, oh, well, we're only going to do it a certain amount of time, it never happens that way. And we end up having to call the police all the time. And we called code many times to, go and check on things that were being burned daily that were not always things that were supposed to be burned. There were tires being burned. There were just all different types of chemicals that were being burned. And we just, as far as all of us, everyone who lives in that area has had different types of health ailments, and I don't want that for my children.
Okay, thank you. Let me remind everybody, and I should have said it when we started, we have a 3-minute limit, so try to keep your comments to 3 minutes.
I want to ask her what her residence address was.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to.
What's your address?
Uh, 3901 Crystal Hill Road. It's directly across the train tracks from the fire station.
3901. Okay, I know exactly where you are. Yes, ma'am?
Hi, I'm Dr. Laura Stanley, and we live up the hill from the proposed site. And my son's a North Little Rock police officer. He grew up in that area. I've been out in the woods a lot. It's not ugly, it's beautiful. And there is a pit that my children used to play around. It's safe. And we have a swimming pool in our backyard. They're going to cut the trees down. It's going to create a visual pollution, if you will. It's going to really change the way that the area looks. And it's, like I said, it's a